Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Derby Kai. Quite a nice day today, a little bit cloudy in the sky, but it is quite warm. So a few jobs for today. Little bit of work to do on the pond and some more stuff in the filter house. So let me just spin you around a sec and I want to quickly show you, have a look around the pond and a few little bits and pieces. Right, jobs on the pond. Well, never mind the pond, you know, the joys of having a dog. Yeah, that needs to be reseeded and a bit of soil in there. There's a couple of patches. I've got little bits of jobs I need to do today. Well, not today, this summer, as you can see. It's when he plays football. That little monster there, he loves his football and he's wrecking the lawn. So I've got quite a few jobs to do this year in the garden. I've got slabbing to finish off around the back, and I've got to get rid of that mess up there. I want to finish, as you can see, all at the back there. That's my log stores for the log burner. I need to put roofs on them this year. I started the building the end of last year. I've got some more logs to cut up. So yeah, that's another job for this year. But the pond, as you can see, my covers are still on. I know this time of year a lot of YouTubers out there and people with ponds have taken their covers off, and I'm so jealous. It's obviously warmer around there than when it is here. At the moment it's quite warm in the day. I'd say most days at the moment around 13, 14. I think we've even had one at 16 or 17 a couple of days, but the nights, wow, really going down again. I'd say 1 last night, maybe 1 degrees. Some nights 3 and 4, and I think next week it's saying again, ramming some down to 1, maybe even 0 on the night. So I'm just not prepared to take that chance at the moment with that sudden drop in temperature from, you know, around the 15, something like that, to, you know, to 1 and 0 on the night. Because my pond is holding a decent temperature at the moment, around the 14 and 15, somewhere around there. So I want to try and keep that in there. I don't want to give him a sudden shock. But I have had a message from Righty, Mr. Teddy Wright. His good wife, his better half, has actually said that it looks like this year could be one of the hottest summers for quite some time. So fingers crossed that's what's going to happen. And if that's the case, these will be off pretty soon, and hopefully we can get some growth on them this year. Because let me take you into here. What I'm doing at the moment, I'm feeding them on as a mixture of everything at the moment. They're still having a little bit of wheat germ first thing in the morning, and then I've got a mix of Japanese mix in there with this stuff here. There's a mix of that. There's a mix of my, I think that's my Health and Vitality, which is again same as the Japanese mix. You know, it's the Queenie Koi. A mix of that, and I've made a mix. I've put some of that in my high growth from LE Koi, all into here. So what I'm going to be doing in the summer, as temperatures rise, I'm going to start feeding them this. It's a mixture of everything, and I've got some of those as well, some freshwater shrimp. I want to get, this is quite a high protein. This is 42% protein. So I'm going to try and feed more of a higher protein mix this year. I'm not sure what's in the Japanese. That's, I mean, even the Japanese mix is 38. I can't remember what's in the Health and Vitality, but I want to try and get as much protein as I can in them, try and get some real growth on them this year. That's the plan anyway. I've obviously got these ones here, my treats are the shrimp, and I want to look for some other high protein, high growth treats as well for them, to try and get a bit more growth on them this year, which would be very nice. Let's have a look. Again, my watercress is actually flying. Something else I want to, if you remember my lilies, they haven't been in that long. I don't know if you can actually see them there. They're actually shooting up. They're probably about 1 inch, 2 inches off the surface on that one. That one's taking a little bit longer, but that one seems to be flying up now. Now the warmer weather's come. So hopefully in the next day or two that would have broke the surface and get a bit more shade on the pond, which is what I'm looking for at the moment. That's what another good reason with these sunny days, having the covers on, it's helping a little bit. Treatment wise, obviously I had Fluke. They've had their first treatment. That's all done now. I have got to do another one in a week and a half, something like that, another treatment. So as soon as that's done and I've had their second scrape and everything seems fine, I'm going to get my fish from round the back, my new ones, and get them in the pond, and hopefully by then the covers will be off and we can actually start enjoying the bloody things, which is something we're not being able to do at the moment. So yeah, lots to do this year, not just on the pond, on the cottage as well. I know it's not car related, but I've got a kitchen to sort out, a bathroom to sort out, wooden floor to sort out, and God knows what else. And obviously in the garden itself, I've got more of this slabbing around the back to do. As I said, got stuff over there to do. So yeah, it's going to be a very busy year, but I want to do as much as I can with the pond. Talking of things I want to do this year, and talking to my new fish, I've got my, let me spin you around, it's a bit easier to just keep looking at that. Yeah, so as I said, talking to the new fish, they're in around the back in my tub at the moment. It's not the biggest of tubs, but they're only small fish. It's just a small plastic thing I use for a hospital tank if needed. So fingers crossed, hopefully that's something I'd like to get this done this year. I said previously I want to do a hospital stroke quarantine stroke grow on tank. Hopefully be nice to get some small fry and grow them on. I don't know if that'll be this year because I've got so much other stuff I need to get done. But I would like to get some sort of a better hospital or quarantine tank set up than what I've got at the moment. So that's something I need to look at. I'm hopefully going to look at this year. I've got a couple of ideas. Hopefully that will come off and I can get that sorted this year. Also, one thing I want to do this year is I've got my skimmer. I want to put some sort of filtration on that. I've had a couple of ideas, but again I'm still thinking. I'm leaning more towards one than the other, but whether I don't know if I should tell you about it now or not until I completely decide. But yeah, I've got things I need to get sorted, and there's a couple of things I want to get done today. So we'll have a quick look in the filter house again, and I'll tell you where we are with that. Okay, back in the filter house. Let's just look at temperatures first. We're at 15.6 in the pond, and it's 21 in the filter house. So, in my last video, I had a problem with my Dechlornator, with a leak, and I put my rubber gaskets in around here. Put my gaskets in here. They did an absolutely brilliant job. It's really significantly reduced it. There's hardly anything now, to be honest. But me being me, I'm not happy with it. I have got my leak sensors in here. So if I do have a leak, which are on the floor, if I do have a leak, I get alerts. So it's not a great leak on there, but it is a wooden shed, obviously. So I don't want it to be dripping it's only, like I say, just a very, very slight drip. And me being me, whether it's OCD or what, I don't know, I'm not happy with it. If I'd have had a thicker, I think the major problem with that, my gaskets are put in, I think the rubber wasn't thick enough. If I'd had a thicker rubber, I think it would have been perfect. So I've been looking around and speaking to a few people, and a good friend of mine who deals with it, but he's had issues with O-rings in the past. He's given me a tip. He said something to try, so I'm going to try that today and take the gasket out. I mean, as you can see, I've still got my bucket down there. That's, let me see what's in there. That's probably over a week's worth, so it's not much, in there, but it's just a slight leak mainly off the one than the other. I think the two of them have got a lot less than it was, but that's what I got. But even that, I don't want that in the filter house. So he has told me something to try, so I'm going to give it a try without the gaskets that I made, and if it works, absolutely fantastic. If it don't, I'll stick my gaskets back in, because without the gasket it's quite a bad leak. So that's the one to start with for now. So let me get my stuff together and we'll get on with that. Right, I've taken it off and I've took it all apart, as you can see, and I've got my 3 O-rings here. 2 now. Right, something he did say, O-rings are obviously supposed to be round, but you can't, if you feel slight, that I do feel a little flat, a bit of a flat spot on them. So what my good friend suggested to give a try, which I'm going to do now, he said run it under some hot water, but I've got a tub of water here, so this isn't boiling water, but it's about between 70 and 80 degrees. So I'm going to drop those in and I'm going to let them soak for a little bit, just to soften up the rubber just a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'll get one out just to show you what is in there. Once it's softened up, he said if you roll it in your fingers, it'll help reshape it, because it's gone flat and it's gone hard. The hot water will hopefully, what it can do, it can help to reshape it. So it's worth a try. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to the old one. So I'll leave those in soak for a couple of minutes, and then, like I said, we'll give them a go, get them back in. We can only try them. If it don't work, we know it don't work, and I can move on to something else. Okay, got my first one on, but when I was doing it, when I checked them out, I could, whether it's just me or not, it did feel like there was a couple of flat spots, and soak it in the water and twisting it in my fingers, it does feel a bit better, and hopefully got some of those flat spots out. So I'm going to put it back together, but what I'm doing, I've got a little bit of petroleum jelly. I just want to put it around the O-ring, because obviously putting the water may have dried it out, and this will help it stop it from scratching. Hopefully, of course, give it a little better seal, and it's going to run a bit around the top of there as well, where the O-ring goes. I'm not going to put loads on, just a light smear, and then stick it back in. But now I've got it all over my hands. So the middle one. And then upside down, my fault. And then the next one. Right, all back together, so let's see if it's made any difference. Let's get it on, and don't worry, I'm not singing this time. Right, if you have got one of these, or you're thinking of buying one, and you're unsure how to do it, you're going to run your water through nice and steady, and these red buttons on the top, they're for purging the air out. All you're going to do is you press them down until you get the water. As you can see, water comes out, and that one's got a bit of air. You purge it until it stops bubbling. There you go, and it's just water, and that purges it out. Unfortunately, once you've done that, as you can see, it's all underneath here, so it's worth just getting your finger in just to get that out, and then you'll see, you'll think you've got a leak, and it's actually from the top of this, the stuff that's on the top. So if you can get as much of that out as you can, and then you dry everything off, and then you can actually keep your eye on it. Once you've got all that out, they're nice and dry. Once you've cleaned it all up dry, you can actually keep your eye on it, and you'll see then if you've actually got any leaks. So I've got a bit more drying to do, then I'll see if we've got any leaks. Okay, it's been running now approximately 30 minutes, and at the moment it's absolutely bone dry. Can't see a drop of water, so fingers crossed. I think it may have cured it. I obviously want to keep my eye on it a bit longer, because if there's a way for water to get out, it will find a way. So at the moment, job's a good one. Right, everything's looking absolutely fantastic at the moment, still bone dry. It's been about 45 minutes now. So I'm going to leave it until this afternoon, or this evening, and I'll check it this evening, but fingers crossed, it looks like it's worked. So what I want to do now is just want to give the pond a little slight little sweep. Now that I've started feeding a bit more, there's a couple of little pieces of poo in the corner, not a lot in there, but I just want to give it a light sweep over, so that will murk up the water a little bit, and the filth will take that out very quickly. So that's my next job. Morning guys, it's now Sunday. A little bit overcast this morning. Well, it has been starting to break up a bit. Not as warm today as it was yesterday, but I think it's going to be reasonably warm. I think it's going to be about 13 or 14 today, so that's not too bad. I have, all right, here we go, lifted my covers up a bit earlier, giving a bit of sunshine, a bit of food this morning. Dechlornator, back onto that. I was going to film last night, yesterday evening. I checked it, I did check it, but I didn't get a chance to record it. So it's been approximately 24 hours, something like that now. I was trying to open the shed one-handed. So let's go in, have a look, and we'll check it out. Okay. So look, it's been approximately 24 hours, and I can't see any leaks at the moment. everything is looking fantastic. So it looks like I've cured it in that one. That's really done a fantastic job. When I put the last video out, I did get a few comments saying that I think it could be a common thing with 3-stage Dechlornators, not just this make, the Aqua Dechlor, but the various other makes as well. And I think normally what happens, I mean, it's been absolutely fine up until recently. I think it's when I've changed my filter cartridges inside. I think you've obviously tightened the filters up on the O-ring, and it's probably close to 12 months, something like that, 10-12 months since they were changed. So I think putting the O-rings on, it obviously squashes on the O-ring, and I think over time, especially with cold through the winter and things like that, I must have given it a bit of a flat spot. And I think it's a common problem with a lot of Dechlornators, that they do actually leak. So it seems to have worked. Yeah, that's done a much better job. Absolutely fantastic. Whether it'll work again, obviously I'm going to change these ones again. I probably won't touch this now until spring, unless they start to leak, which they probably can do. I don't know. They may start to leak again. But at the moment, nothing. So I won't touch these now until they either start to leak again or they need changing. And when I change them, I think I'm going to fit some new O-rings to them. Yes, so talking about O-rings, as I said, I won't touch these now until they need changing or they actually start to leak again, which luckily they're not. So it seems to have worked. It is a decent fix. It's probably the easier of the two fixes. The gaskets that I made, the rubber ones, they did work, but they weren't 100%. There was a very slight leak on that one, and even less on this one. I think if I'd have got a thicker rubber, I think it would have been sorted, not a problem. But to be honest, I think this is the easier fix. Just put them in hot water, let them soak for a while to supple up, and rubbing them between your fingers, and it helps removing that flat spot. And I said I put a bit of petroleum jelly around them just to help seal it a bit more. And to be honest, I'm very impressed with the job on that. They worked really well. But as I said, I won't be touching this unless I have to, if they start to leak again, or if I need new filters. But what I am going to do, definitely next spring, I think, when they come off again, I'm going to fit some new O-rings. I did look around. It's so online and things like that, places that actually sell the O-rings for these, because I didn't know what size they were. So I could have probably got them from an O-ring supplier, especially companies that make O-rings, but they want the correct size, which to be honest, I didn't know. So I did a bit of research, looked round, and they're so hard to get. But I did get in touch with a company, and they've managed to sort me some out. Well, he sorted me some out. They're actually in the post at the moment, so hopefully within a few days they'll be here. But obviously, I don't need them now, but I'm going to use them next year. I will put a link in the description down below. It was from Coastal Kai. I was speaking to a chap called Dave, really nice chap, really helpful, helped me out, and he's got them in the post for me. And to be honest, for the price, I'm more than happy. But with that fix in the hot water, as I said, a friend of mine told me about it, but when I spoke to Dave at Coastal Kai, he says as well, a couple of people have done it, or he's done it in the past, and it's worked as well. I'm not saying it's going to work every time, it depends how flat they are. And what it is, I think when you put these on and you tighten them up, might be my fault, I may have over tightened it, which causes a lot more of a flat spot. I mean, they're not that tight. Some people really tighten them up, and I think then you may have a problem doing it this way. But for now, I'm really chuffed that that's worked. So, job's a good one. Ooh. Right, let's have a sit by me. Fun to have a look at my fish, check them out. All doing well again at the moment. As I said, it is Sunday. I've got lots to do, but to be honest, It is, as I said, it is Sunday, and I think I'm going to have a bit of an easy day today. Take it easy. Me and my boy are going to have a nice roast lamb dinner. That's in the oven cooking at the moment, so I can't wait for that. I'm absolutely bloody starving at the moment. So yeah, all good at the moment. You know, as I said earlier, I've got a lot of work to do this year, in the garden, in the cottage, and on the pond. Things I want to get done. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to show all of the other stuff, the garden, the stuff I work on the cottage is a koi channel. But bits and pieces I can keep you updated on as we go through it. But yeah, everything's looking good at the moment. As I said, the treatment for the fluke treatment is coming up shortly again. So I'm not going to do any others. I don't really want to do too much on the pond until they've had the full treatment. As I said, I haven't seen any flashing since I put the treatment in. So all looking good so far, but it can take a few weeks for them, what you call them, the larvae, if there is any larvae on there, to hatch. So apart from that, it's all good. Alright guys, I am still receiving a lot of pictures and videos of moving bed filters, various filters and things like that, and there's some absolutely cracking ideas and what people are coming up with, a bit like this one.
Bit of a custom moving bed filter going on here. Got a 4-inch line coming in into the easy pod. The overflow there goes down the drain, through the easy pod, down to the pump, loops into the UV, which has got 2 outlets on it. One there, one there. The main outlet goes to the upflow filter, down the big vacuum shower. The littler outlet, which is comes round there, up through there to that tap, which is literally just trickling through, so the media gets loads of time in contact with the water. And this is made out of an old pressure filter that I had kicking around. So the water comes in here, there's like a cage in there, and the water has to go down and back up the centre, so like the opposite way that a pressure filter would work, and then just gravity feeds back into the pod.
Well done, Andy. Some absolutely fantastic filtration here, and absolutely brilliant use of an old pressure filter. That's absolutely fantastic. Somebody else has also sent me a picture of a feeding ring they built. Cracking job, Lee. Absolutely love that one. Don't know if you recognise the name, Lee Ramsey. He has got a YouTube channel of his own called Ramsey's DIY Koi Pond. I'll put a thing up here somewhere. He's got a cracking channel. He's just actually updated his pond, been in a bit of a pond build on there, so absolutely fantastic job. He's got some great content, so check out his other videos and give him a subscription. I also promised to give another shout out to our YouTube mate of mine, Philip from Telford Koi Pond again. I'll put a link up here to him. He's actually in the process of actually building his new pond, and by the look of it, it's going to be an absolutely cracking pond. He's done some great progress so far, and he's very close to his 1,000 subscribers. So pop on over, give him a subscription, and see if we can get him to that 1,000. Can't wait. Again, I'll put the descriptions to both of them somewhere down below, and pop over to both of them, give him a like, give him a subscription, and tell him Bisley sent you. Right, that's it guys. I'm really chuffed with the Dechlornator. Finally stopped it leaking, which is great. Can't wait to get these bloody things off. I think it's going to be another week, maybe 2, even though we're having some nice warm days again. Some of the nighttime temperatures are going down low again. I think we're expecting some 1s and 2s again in the next week. So for me, I think it's another week. But if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to press your little bell to get your notifications. But until next time, stay safe, jobs are good.